Also, I would say too. I
Does it
can't
say
say it
it?
now. Look, I can't say it now that we're live. Got to keep the
Uh-oh. Well,
secret
we
first.
are.
Got to keep the secret. Yes, we are live. I can't say.
Oh,
We
wow.
will just say. I'm talking to my agent about this showtime because it is hampering my lifestyle. We might need
Well,
to. 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which would be 12 o'clock Eastern, might be a good time for us to start this show from now on.
Lord.
well, we'll
Lord.
see, man. You play. You know about early morning practices in football, and there's a reason why teams had early morning practices.
Actually, I say if anything, I know about pulling all nighters, having to get a paper done where you don't waited a whole damn semester, and now you gotta write
Yeah.
8 to 10 pages in a
Well,
night.
yes, sir. Well, we are live, gentlemen. We are back in the studio for Triple Option. Today is September the 18th, 2022. So
Yes.
the season's just rolling along. It's just rolling along, gentlemen. So, what's up, man?
Morning. What's going on?
Everything good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Got Zach up there in the building. What's up, Zach?
Not much. You already heard me about my contract renegotiating, but it's great to see you guys.
Exactly. And last but not least, Coy, what's up? D Woods Coy in the building again.
What's up?
All right. Man, we're gonna talk about week 3. We're gonna cover some week 3, some key matchups. You know, every panel member here, the 3 experts here, they have certain matchups that they want to discuss into detail. We're gonna do that. We're gonna talk about the pay for play situation and
You might catch me
you know
red.
how that may have backfired on some teams, maybe not. And also Deion Sanders had some comments about that. So we have an hour. We're gonna pack it in, and we're gonna get ready. So everybody's ready to roll, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
All right, triple option.
Great intro. It is really growing on me.
All right, all you need is a Lil Wayne.
Hey, maybe I'll rap on the track.
Be like undisputed.
Hey, please don't. Please don't.
Well, that intro was brought to you by Jones Music LLC, and that's Terrence Jones, my brother. Great job with the beat.
Yes, it was.
Yes, sir. We are also on Blackjack TV. We thank the Jack, Blackjack TV. We're it's a simulcast. They're airing the show over there as well. So you can go to www.blackjacktv.net. All right, gentlemen. That's some of the business taken. Oh, absolutely, man. Right here, man, in the building. But so that's some of the business we took care of there. But now we're gonna take care of some more business, and we're gonna jump into our discussion. In NCAA football was obviously played yesterday. I know you guys were all over it, and so that's why you're here to educate us. And so let's go ahead and start with some of your thoughts on week 3 so far, and some of the key matchups. And let's start with Orion. What about your key matchup of the week?
I had Texas A&M Miami. obviously I ended up getting the late game, so I actually had to stay up all night to watch this mess.
This mess.
I was worried that the team wouldn't respond. You know, I was wondering how the team would respond with the quarterback change after all spring. He told his team, you know, that Haynes King was the guy. And after 2 games, you go with another guy who comes in at home and puts up 140 yards, 10 of 20. And you barely get by with a 17-9 victory, only because your defense is as advertised. But for you to be such a quarterback guru and this offensive superpower, I was disappointed in the fact that you only scored 17 points at home, only because Miami gave you every opportunity to win this game with their turnovers, with their drop passes. So if this is who you going with for the rest of the season, Texas A&M is in trouble. I don't even see them beating. I mean, they'll probably finish 3rd or 4th in that conference in the West.
Wow.
I don't think they're better than LSU with their offense.
So
With this offense, you're not better than LSU. They may get past Mississippi State, and they're not that good.
and they're not going to be Ole Miss.
Not going to be Ole Miss, and we know they're not going to be Alabama. So
yeah, that's 3rd.
So
Okay.
they're probably only because of the offense, only because of the defense, they're probably a notch better than Auburn right now, and that's only because of their defense. But if that offense goes out there and plays on the road, they could only play this good. They played this bad at home. After what happened against Appalachian State, like you would think that they would respond. So to come out that flat and to decide, and for you to go with a quarterback change after that big of a loss, shows me that this team has a long way to go.
Well, yeah, it was a grinded out type of game, and you're right. There was some situations that helped them get that victory. Man, you would have thought that they would have came back and just kind of and tried to make a statement, like smash Miami, but that wasn't the case. And to me, Miami, you know, they're okay, but they're not anything to write home about. So it would have been nice if you're a Texas A&M fan to really see them come in and make a huge statement. At the end of the day, they did get a victory, but I totally get what you're on. Anybody else got any comments on Orion's pick of the week?
No.
I mean, looking at the total stats, I mean, Miami had more first downs, 27-16, more passing yards, 217 to 140, more rushing yards, 175 to 124. And more time of possession. The only reason you really won that game is that the key turnover and a couple of times when Miami went for it on 4th down, they didn't get it because of drop passes. So you survived really this game. But this is Jimbo Fisher with the 3rd, 4th coach in the SEC. This is what they're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
With that top recruiting class, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell Saban I'm coming for him. Ain't nobody scared of Nick. Jimbo. Yeah, that guy.
Right. They put Alabama will put 40 on him. Because that offense not gonna keep up.
What's your matchup? Yeah.
What was my matchup?
They're gonna have to. Yeah, they got a lot of things to straighten out. But yeah, what was your matchup?
Speaking of straighten out, I had Penn State and Auburn.
Woo.
Well, I thought that'd actually be a better matchup, and I actually thought it'd be a pretty good game to actually watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. They got problems on the plains. Um, obviously, the score sticks out, but when you take in the fact that Auburn cannot score in the red zone at all, 3 to 4 red zone chances, and you only come up with 12 points. First problem. Second problem, Auburn has no interior line on defense or offense. We have a quarterback problem in Auburn. I'm going to get to Penn State in a minute. We have a quarterback problem in Auburn. Big one. They got 3 transfers in there, and right now, 2 of the 2 that I saw ain't worth a damn. How good are their receivers? We will never know because we don't have no quarterback down there. They also got problems in their secondary on the edges. Their corners, they got to do better.
Shout out to
But
Bo nephew.
I
said, shout out to Bo nephew. He's part about the only thing they got.
Exactly.
Wow.
Then so now going to the Penn State side of the ball. Okay, after I saw the Penn State Purdue game, I said, they make a 10, but I don't really see it. But if you go by yesterday's game, Penn State maybe third, give or take Ohio State, Michigan in that conference up there, and maybe Purdue's better than what I thought they were. But then I saw them yesterday, which changed my mind. I'm at this point so far in this season that we won't know nothing because nobody seems to play a good game from week to week. Penn State, that running back for Penn State, he's legit. That quarterback they got, he's above average game manager. They do play good defense. They bend, but they will shut down the red zone. But Auburn did throws all those turnovers in the red zone, so we don't know. I'll put it like this: that was not really. I should have picked another game, but it is what it is. Kevin, if I'm wrong, anybody watch any of that game?
Yeah, it wasn't great, and I thought Auburn would play better. I thought Auburn would show better. I mean, to a degree, impressive by Penn State because I don't think Auburn's a terrible team. Like they're not a bottom feeder team.
No, they just got a bunch of deficiencies.
Yes,
That maybe the staff and maybe given a little time can be repaired.
So did we have this coach on the hot seat? Because I mean, I almost forgot about him because I forgot he was almost fired.
Well, they don't want him anyway. Like so,
No, they don't want him anyway. They don't want him anyway.
So yeah, like
They just don't want to pay the 18 million, right? I think it's 18 million buyout.
Yeah, I think it's buyouts. I forgot. I was gonna read off the Auburn Twitter page. Take a gander on the comments.
Yeah. I don't know if they probably. I mean, because they fired the AD that hired him already. So yeah, I really don't. I'm really not sure how this is going to work. But yeah, their backup. I thought maybe they should have brought him in a lot earlier once Huntley hurt the shoulder. But other than that, yeah, this offense is terrible. I mean,
the kid,
Bigsby's the best player. Like to me, that should be the game plan to try to make him try to get him the ball at every opportunity.
I'm talking about Tank.
All offense you have.
Tank. Little Tank.
Yeah.
And send oh god, it's just the kid slipped my mind. The 25, the linebacker. What's his name? God. And figure out a way to get him in the backfield or where the ball's at every play.
Yeah.
Because he comes visit receivers and running backs with some issues. He has some issues with somebody.
I thought when they put the hit on Clifford when he ran the ball and they I thought he was out. I'm surprised he even
that kid right there.
Right.
We're gonna see him on Sundays. I can't even think of the kid's name right now, but we're gonna see him on Sunday. Auburn also has an end that's going to look pretty good too. But
Okay.
They're Auburn. They should have players that look good.
They should look a lot better than what they're playing. So, and if you look at their talent, their recruiting class, that roster, we're gonna say because it's a new coach and he's trying to get his players in, blah blah blah. The talent is a little bit down because Boise State talent, what you see as talent in Boise State is totally different when you get down on the plains. So, we'll see. But the glaring thing was up the middle, that team is weak.
Yeah.
And that's your area there, Coy, in the trenches.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Well, Zach, what was your matchup of the week, sir?
I had Mississippi State at LSU, and I come from that. Mississippi State is pretty much what I think they are. Like they're a team. They have some nice players. They go out there, and I'd say normally they gonna get you somewhere around 7 or 8 wins. So they ain't ever gonna be too terrible, but they're not gonna be too great either. They'll they do enough to keep their fan base engaged. So this would have been a good victory for them to get close to that. Maybe put themselves in a bowl that isn't normal for them to go to, and LSU found a way to win the game. LSU is a eyesore. For the first 3 quarters, their offense is just terrible. And I'm gonna be nice to the Daniels kid because Orion, we talked about him a few weeks ago during the Florida State game and what he did at ASU. So I'm gonna give him more time before I decide what I can make of him. But LSU is just hard to watch because they want to run the ball and they really want to pass the ball too. They want to be a pro style offense, or at least it feels like that, but they don't execute or come out like a pro style offense. They don't get there. I want to say Daniels had 16 rushes. He leads them in carries. At LSU, it kind of unlike Auburn, they're supposed to have all these talented players. Orion and I should remember this name, John Emery Jr. He was a big time name on Dog Nation, running back.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be great, and he's just kind of some dude now. Everybody has told me Keyshawn Butte was supposed to be this All-American, and he's just like, I don't see it.
What's up, $2?
But then we get to the fourth quarter, and they were down. I want to say they were down 6, and they have this explosion that they shouldn't have when you start looking at how they were struggling the whole game, and they figure out a way to win. So right now, I kind of equate LSU. It'd be like Georgia and Alabama are taking a airplane from Los Angeles to Atlanta, and LSU is taking Greyhound. Like they gonna get there, but man, it is
taking the long way around.
And I know you don't like Brian Kelly. I still think that Brian Kelly, based on his resume, he has some greatness, and he's.
I'm going to defend myself on it. It's not that I don't like.
No.
I
was talking to Orion, not you. Orion is not.
I don't feel like he's a fit for that team. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure if he's a fit, but I think he's an Andy Reid type. He just needs to get that Super Bowl to validate himself. So if he can get a championship, now will he get it there? Like I said, he's on the bus. Greyhound's gonna get somewhere because I don't know how they won. And just like how you were talking about A&M, that A&M ain't gonna win. Most of these teams out west, like they're pretty good or they're supposed to be good, but like Arkansas, I thought Arkansas was gonna be not bad. They get to a fight with Missouri State. So at this point, after watching yesterday, LSU could finish second in the West or
third. Ole Miss is actually.
But I'm gonna go. They can finish last. I mean, well, I guess they won't finish last because they beat Mississippi State. But I don't feel like they're gonna go overpower anybody when they get on the road. They go have to go play off. I don't know. It's like you said about that. We're 3 weeks in, and I can't tell you that about LSU yet. Like, I can't tell you they terrible because they got guys, but I can't tell you they great because I don't know what they can do if they go. Like, they just a team. Now, they could go if they
You see
play
that
Georgia
tweet there?
right now. It, like if they play Georgia right now, they might get beat by 50,
Read,
but then at the
read,
same
read that,
time,
read that,
they might
read that,
could kick a field goal to win the game.
read that, Zach. That explains it all.
Yeah.
Are they? Because here's the thing about LSU too. Outside of the Joe Burrow year, when they went undefeated, normally LSU they have guys, they have talent. The year they played Alabama, they beat Alabama, I think 9-3 in one game. Then they had to rematch in the national championship. Like, do they ever have great quarterback play
No.
outside of the Joe Burrow year? And then their running backs. Do they ever have running backs that are like a 16? Like I remember the Leonard Fournette, but outside of
Fournette,
Leonard Fournette,
before Fournette was there was Ware.
yeah, but are they ever like 15, 1,600-yard backs that you feel like are a Herschel Walker, a
No, well,
Bo?
you're not gonna. Well, to be fair, LSU and Alabama in that time frame were basically two of the similar teams. Obviously, one had a better coach that put his imprint a little bit better. But basically, it was play defense, run the ball, and play action when we had to. Right? I would give that Alabama had a few Kevin Falk back in the day. I would give the fact that they had a little bit better quarterbacks. And actually LSU had the higher prospects at quarterback.
Yeah.
But they just never seen the LSU offense since the modern era
Exactly.
has never been gone. Has never got there.
Exactly. Outside of the Joe
But
Burrow year.
right, but just like that run when Georgia was always sending these perennial all-star running backs to the league, but they never win any games. Or all these players, the Rick era,
Mm-hmm.
the Terrell Davises,
Right.
Yeah.
AJ, all these kids, but yet you couldn't translate it in a game. So
Yep.
they just never seem to produce on offense, but they could run the ball. And they do the same thing as Alabama did. They run by committee. They may have a feature back, but Bama do more.
Well, I I'll just be like, I'm just confused by LSU. Like they won. I don't know what to make of them, and this seems like a continuous thing with them, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. The great job on the matchups. Those were definitely key matchups this weekend. There were several other, but we can't talk about every matchup. But what we can do is, there's comments, there's things that we can post that we will have on the YouTube link. So make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification button, and you still keep up with us throughout the week. Before we wrap up the first half of the show, let's talk about Nebraska. They, again, they got Molly Wop, but
Hey,
Nebraska.
are we doing this for Terrell Farley?
Well, I don't think he would love to hear all this type of news, but we definitely
We're gonna try to get Terrell on here. I'm
yeah
gonna
we
reach out to him.
yeah let's get him on here and get his viewpoint of Nebraska. But right now, speaking of them, let's talk about the coaching situation. Mickey Joseph is the current coach now. He was elevated to that position for now, but it seems like there's names floating around. One is it's a rumor, but obviously Urban Meyer and there's several other guys. But what I just want to pass around to you guys for the next 7 minutes or so. What's your take on the Nebraska coaching situation, and should Joseph even be a candidate?
They're trying to fire Joseph already.
Like stop it. You put out a post I want to say last week when Joseph took over as the interim. He is not a candidate, and I'll just leave it at that.
They're already firing the national.
Yes, he ain't no
If
candidate.
they are literally saying we shouldn't have got rid of Frost if this guy's going to do the same thing after a week.
I agree.
He's not a candidate. He's not a candidate. The stats are the stats. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
the fact that this is a first black head coach in any sports at that university will tell you. And you got to remember the crown jewel of that sports program is that football team. No, the only way he can I believe he can rip off an undefeated for the rest of the way, and they still not going to get that man that job.
Yeah, that was interesting telling there that he's the first black head coach at Nebraska for any sport.
Yes
That
and
was
no. I'll say it kind of yes and no. Because I'll say, like I said last week, who wants to be in Lincoln, Nebraska? And I almost said Omaha again, but we'll just say Nebraska.
Well, Urban will. I mean, as long as there's some sports bars
there you go.
around with some
No.
nice
What was it?
co-eds. Long as there's some nice co-eds
Urban is looking at those. Urban is looking at those jobs that are going to come free at the crib at the one a first class university programs. That's what
But
he's
wasn't
looking
it? Ain't the rumor though? 10 years, $125 million. So sure, if you gonna pay somebody a boatload of money like that, okay, they'll go take the job. But I'll say this about Urban Meyer: we already know he gonna get sick. He won't make the 10-year contract, so he gonna get fired, and you gonna give him a large payout, if not all his money.
at. Oh,
Okay,
that's what
Nebraska.
we're gonna call him. He's gonna get sick.
Yeah,
That's what we keep calling
well,
it.
well, I'm just saying, ain't that what happened? He has personal issues.
Oh, we
And
getting
he
to
has to
that.
go
We getting
spend
that.
time
We
with his
getting to that
family.
$2.
Like, so yeah, if you're gonna pay a lot of money to somebody just to come there, you'll get somebody, but you ain't gonna get somebody, let me tell it, that's gonna be invested. What was it last week? They talked about Dion taking it. I want to say you responded, Cal. Like Dion's not taking that job.
That's a step down for him. Why would he take that?
Hell,
I hate to say it like that.
exactly. Look, exactly. Hell no. I mean, Nebraska is a Power 5 team, but the reality is they probably more aligned with but like, are they really a Power 5 team?
Yeah, West Virginia.
They're Power 5 school. Let's
Like,
look at it that way.
but
what about the
should they be?
Not team, school.
What about the Cincinnati coach?
No. Why would he? He just made the college football playoff. Hell no.
I'm just trying to think of somebody like.
Some
It have to be somebody like that.
12-team playoff. When they go to
No.
it, is Nebraska making the 12-team? Like,
No.
who would put $10,000 at Nebraska will make the 12-team playoff by? let's go 2040. Because I wouldn't. Hell no.
well, somebody has to change. Somebody may, change that program.
Somebody's gonna take that chance.
You want honest opinion? The players and everybody that's associated with that team has a connection to the guy that's there now, but he's not gonna get a chance. And honestly, he's actually the recruiter, so
Yeah.
he would make more sense if you try to get talent into that school. But hey, he ain't gonna be there. He's on his resume. Side note, going back to A&M. Oh, do y'all know what Kevin Summerlin's record was?
Yeah.
Jimbo record.
Wasn't he the same as Jimbo or a
Yeah.
game better than Jimbo?
No,
or
actually,
something?
Jimbo, he's one game up on Jimbo now. Just
Yeah.
saying. But anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, it
That
ain't
was just-
shocking. Look, hey, I'm gonna say this for Fisher. Fisher just needs to survive till the 12-team. Like, this is why you have the 12-team playoff. Because what'll happen is they'll probably in some twist lose one more game, maybe. Something crazy would happen. Say they make it to the SEC championship. They're 10-2. They win the SEC, and then they'd be talking about we should be in the college football playoff. We got better throughout the year and all this blah, 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 kind of like when they went 10-1 or whatever, and they were 5th. So he's just trying to hang on until the 12-team playoff so he can make it as an at-large or
Jimbo
something.
just trying to cash checks. That's all he's doing. He's just cashing
But
checks.
that's what I say. He got to hang on until you get to that. And that's what I'm saying about Nebraska. Like, stop. Nebraska ain't no closer to making the CFP than Georgia Southern. Or
Next topic, T.
Name
Next
one of them.
topic.
Yes.
Next
Well,
topic.
I was letting Zach get whatever he was getting out of there.
No, I'm saying they
Zach
no
for the
different
rant.
than Georgia Southern.
Yeah, he's in a rant.
Yes.
All right. Appreciate that, Coy. All right. So
Yes,
now
thank you, Calvin. Save me from myself.
we're going to slide over to the topic of money showers. All right.
Ooh.
Before we go that, this actually going to tie us into that.
Okay, ties in.
Did y'all see the three? Did y'all pay attention to all three of the teams that played the upset games last week? The winners, Georgia
Yeah.
Southern,
Georgia
App,
Southern.
and
Yeah.
Marshall.
Yes.
2 of the 3 lost.
Yeah.
Yes,
And Appalachian should have lost too.
Yes, exactly. That
and
Hail
that's
Mary.
and there you go, fellas. We had some other games on the table. Uh, you had North Dakota State who was in a barn burner with Arizona, which is going to tie into our topic as well. And then we'll get into the Grambling Jackson State. That won't take long. And then there was some other matchups of some some smaller schools here. We just want to give some FCS love right there. But yes, you just mentioned about App State squeaking one out and with the Hail Mary. And so just want to get y'all thoughts on this situation. With the money games, right? There's teams that are, they're it's pay for play. So you have schools, and you can break this down, fellas, but you have like the FCS, which is a lower level from the FBS based on the school size and all that stuff. But you have the bigger schools paying smaller schools to come play them.
Mhm.
And we had a couple, teams that were the teams that got paid. They ended up winning the game. So I brought this up on a production meeting with Coy, just kind of pick his brain for a minute, and it was interesting. And so I wanted him to elaborate on that. And I want you to elaborate on it, and of course, Zach, you as well. But why did we see this trend of some of lower level teams going into big places and winning?
First thing, we tend to think lower level means zero talent.
Correct.
Um, if you think about it, where did Khalil Mack pay?
Buffalo.
What is Khalil Mack?
Uh,
He's an NFL linebacker.
uh,
He's
all pro when
probably
he's at his best.
right, and he's probably one of the top 3 pass rushers in the entire league
Yes.
since he's been there. I won't say number one. It kind of it's the ebbs and flows of right.
Yes.
What a lot of times people don't realize is when these kids come out of high school, you have 1 through 5 stars, as they like to say, right? But as we've noticed over the years from the pro game, some of the 5 stars don't are just aren't there. It's not that they don't pan out; they don't progress when they get to college. And then you have the ones that are 1 or 2 stars that are not going to be on the Bamas or whatever, and they progress and they either get a little bigger, they get a little stronger, or they get a little more confidence, and they progress forward and forward to being what we see them as today. So yes, the difference in the schools are the amount of talent pool, the size of the talent pool. But at the end of the day, like I was telling TJ, you take a team and say you have Khalil Mack and you have another dominant defensive player, and the rest of it's 2 stars, and you got a good coach with a good program. If that uh, LSU come in there, new coach, really don't know his players, learn his players, hasn't installed his program, all of a sudden he can get shot. And we all know that momentum means a lot in most sports. They get down, they start guessing themselves, they start wondering. Because truth be told, Texas, Alabama was one of those situations where Alabama should have blown that team out. Texas got in early, kept it close long enough, and then you see Alabama winning in the last quarter. It's not the talent drop off between, say, we're gonna remove Georgia, we're gonna remove Ohio State, we're gonna move Alabama, we're gonna move Clemson, right? And all say the top 5 recruits. But the A&M's, Notre Dame at this, because Notre Dame, to be honest with you, is the same as the Nebraska. They just have a bigger pool of players to pull from. Because you think about it, they get Catholics. They don't get brothers. They get Catholics. You see what I'm saying? The brothers treat Notre Dame just like they treat any other school. So you have the opportunity. If you could, like, App State before they moved up were perennial national championships in 1AA. We always wonder, and
Correct.
everybody's wondering where did North Dakota State come from? Marshall left.
Yep.
Georgia Southern left.
Yeah.
Yep.
App State left. Youngstown left. Troy left one double A.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they created a void for North Dakota State. And eventually, soon enough, they're smart to go stay with that, but they may try to move up.
And that'll open the door for another team that's building up.
Right. And
Yeah.
a lot of those schools, like I remember when I was at I remember when Troy, every player on Auburn team that could not make it into school or or for whatever reason couldn't be there, their ass was down at Troy State. That was during the Bowden years.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you have these perennial D1 powerhouses that have buddies at these smaller schools, and they'll send them a kid. Basically, I can't use them, huh?
Marcus Ware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another good one
As a
there.
matter of fact, DeMarcus Ware,
Yeah, at Troy.
and then they had a wide receiver there that ran
Yeah,
a damn.
they had a squad. They had a squad that year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, and anybody else can chime in on that one, on what Corey's talking about there.
Well, I'll go with what Calvin loves to talk about. A lot of it is in the trenches,
Mm-hmm.
and when those teams show up, like North Dakota State, Appalachian State, or whatever, if they don't get whipped in the trenches, it becomes a football game.
It becomes
Like,
a fighter chance. Yeah.
and that's really all it is. Because from a skill level standpoint, like I just said about LSU last night, Butte. If Butte is some great first round wide receiver, I don't see it. Like, because I wouldn't be afraid to cover Butte. Like, he just seemed like another dude that as Rob likes to say, it's a whole bunch of guys 5'10" to 6'2" that run a 4.4 that are 180 to 200 pounds in America. And he's just one of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's what comes up with a lot of it. Are these teams getting whipped? And as Calvin said, App State, Georgia Southern, North Dakota State, like these are championship caliber programs. I wouldn't schedule them. Hell no. Like, nope. I'm either gonna get me a real live scrimmage game.
I'm gonna give you a Georgia State,
or I'm gonna play a real team.
They
Like,
almost beat Carolina.
I'm gonna play Arizona State or somebody like that. But I'm not playing those teams. I'm gonna play somebody that's a true cupcake.
well, sometimes it's like the alumni wanna. It's the play. They're playing for the polls because and there has been times where that really low power ranked team has caused teams movement in the polls. So they're trying to get that balance. But I would say that I give Jackson State 1 to 2 more years if Dion continue on this path. That a lot of them won't play him. They're gonna move them off the schedule.
Well, they'll play Texas State next year, and Texas State they're on the lower level of
Texas State is
1A teams.
but he's doing it. He's playing his card. He's stepping up.
Are you saying that teams like, let's just say LSU, you thinking they won't schedule a Jackson State to come in there and play them in 2 years, something like that?
In 2
Oh,
years,
they'll keep playing. They'll keep playing Southern. They'll play Southern.
Southern, yeah, okay.
But
The local matchup.
You think about it.
They'll keep Southern on their Southern or Grambling.
Yeah.
They'll play those two.
Keep it kind of local.
They'll never pick anybody else but those two.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they should do. Like, I think the state should do that. That way you filtering money back into a state school.
Right. Good idea.
Matter of fact, name the top 5 NFL quarterbacks right now, and what school they came from.
Top 5.
Yeah, or we're not going to discuss. We're not going to get into the argument who's top 5. Just name the top perennial best.
Oh, you're just saying? Are you getting at like a Carson Wentz from a Dakota State or Trey Lance or like where players come from? Yeah, and you got a history of that, right? You got like
Brady.
Phil Sims. I can't even tell you where Phil Sims played at. Morehead State, I believe.
Yeah, Brady's Michigan, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers is one of the
Cal.
Okay, that's borderline. That's a Power 5.
I mean, Brett Favre played at Mississippi State, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Southern Miss.
Southern Mississippi.
But at that time, they wasn't like a superpower.
No, they're not. They've never been a superpower.
Let's not bring his name up.
Lamar Jackson played at Louisville. You see where I'm going?
Well,
Mahomes was what? Texas
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And so. But the point is, you start seeing all these skilled players from these other schools, these quarterbacks. Matter of fact, every year we have you don't hear about the Heisman quarterback. You hear about one or two Power Five quarterbacks, and the rest of them quarterbacks we be trying to find a school on the map.
Yeah. So
So that's
it seemed like to me, and before we get into the last segment here, we got a good 20 minutes to take care of that one. So that's good. But it seems like there's like a intersect where you have a team that's power in name, maybe have fallen off over the years, maybe in a transition period, running across a quote unquote smaller school that maybe have players who've been around in a program for a long time as well. And as you guys stated, I mean, the talent is really not that much difference outside
the
of the size of
talent.
the linemen.
The thing is, the
But
talent on the edges is
yeah,
comparable in a lot of situations.
yeah.
And
And then the
some of
talent,
and
and
some
then the
of them
talent
have
in the middle.
and some of them have quality coaches that have coached
Yes.
Yeah,
in like obviously Bobby Petrino goes, you know,
yeah,
he takes his team into Arkansas and
Mm,
they were
Dog,
well on their way.
right.
dog fight. Like he's
So
not. He might be a bad person,
Yeah,
right, but
but he ain't.
Oh,
But he ain't a bad coach.
he's a
right,
hell of a football coach.
Like that. Like
right,
right.
that's two different things.
Yeah.
right.
So,
So you
so it's a great combination of all that. And that's where you get these upsets, where you get that perfect storm, or if you will.
Shout
And
out
the
to you,
team may
man.
not play up to their standard that day too. So that all kind of can equate to those upsets. But yeah. And by the way, just last night, Arizona State, which is one of the coaches at Orion, said should be on the hot seat.
What's up, Loke?
Um, Arizona State, I mean, they squeaked by North Dakota State.
right.
So there you go. I think it was a 3-point victory, 28-31. So, there you have it. Those are dangerous matchups. OG Dollar, we appreciate everything, bro. You are in the building today. OG Dollar. All right,
OG
guys.
$2.
$2. My bad. $2, not $1. But we got
These
plenty of
last
time. We got
$2.
18 minutes to get into the final segment. And I'm sure this will be a good conversation. Jackson State, they took Grambling to the woodshed yesterday. I mean, I don't know what to make of it, but they really put 66 on them. It was
Well,
close at one point when I was watching the game, and then when I stopped watching the game, next thing I know, it's a wrap.
It
But
you
wasn't
start
it
seeing you
wasn't
start
up until halftime.
yeah,
you start seeing the difference of when you have depth and talent.
yeah,
Um, Prime got a lot of we talk about the recruit, the kid from Cartersville, but the
Hunter,
part people didn't realize is he had a couple of JUCO All-Americans that he also brought in there. And then he's
yes,
got some transfers coming in, and that's starting to create the depth and the talent. I'm I'm wondering, are we watching that team get to the point where they're playing themselves? You have the rest of the SWAC, and then that's one league, and then they have Jackson State just sitting on top, just from the pure talent scale.
yeah.
Because what
They're
he's
doing.
what he
It
is
feel like they're
literally
doing what Alabama has done to a lot of teams.
right. Well, he's getting all the talent there.
Well,
Yeah,
He's
yes,
top
they
five.
they suppose. Like I'm not shocked by this. If you getting in all these people, uh,
Right.
Tyrone sends me. I get like 8, 9 uh updates from Tyrone about who Jackson State they got across all sports. They should they should do this until they play the top teams in 1AA. As I said, I can't even tell
Zach.
you how good they are because, like I said,
Right. But
they
here's the
gonna
thing.
they gonna
Here's the
whip
thing. If
Texas
he keeps
State
getting the
next year.
talent, if he gets the talent that if he keeps going on this path of getting this talent, he's gonna be he's gonna be a low tier. He's gonna be what we call North Dakota State, and he's
Yeah,
gonna be bullying the shit out of 1AA or what is it, FCPS, whatever the hell they call them people now.
Yeah. But
FCS.
they
Yes.
gonna
the problem is as long as he stays at Jackson State, we will only see him in the Celebration Bowl. We'll never see them against their talent to even be able to gauge it.
But yeah,
So
that's
until they
fine.
get
That's
out of that
fine.
group,
But what's going to happen is that team's going to start outpacing everybody, and then you're going to have these other schools, these other alumni saying, well, let's go bring them in or go bring them in. And once one of the wrong teams make the dumbass decision to play them instead of playing them early. See, right now these teams should go play them now, beat the shit out of them, get it off the board.
Yeah.
But 3 to 4 or 5 years from now, if this talent pool goes the way the way it's going, they're going to be the fool. If somebody's going to step up and get punched in the mouth, and it's going to be off to the races. I think I told TJ this. My biggest thing about it is, if it's just one school, it's not going to last. And as I watch these games, I'm not seeing these other schools progressing on the same level. Which, I get you don't have prime, but there's got to be a way. The coaches, and everybody else got to learn a way to cash in on this.
Yeah, it's got to be a ripple effect.
They're not cashing in on it.
They need a TV contract, and they need to get money in so you can start upgrading the facilities or whatever. Because as I keep bringing up Texas State, but I think Texas State has like a 30,000 seat stadium or whatever. I want to say Jackson State Stadium is bigger than Texas State, but Texas State is D1. I'm gonna assume Texas State has a alumni base that has some money or something. That's how they got to. That's how they got to go D1. Because,
but if you look at Prairie View Stadium,
yeah,
that's top notch.
Yeah, it is.
But it's not a top notch program.
Right, but it's not a top notch program. But if you see the new facilities they got, I don't even know how they even.
Well, you know what on that? But you know what on that? Oh, since they have that part of it, now they need to go get the other part. You know what I'm saying?
That's like what I hate to say it, but like what Georgia was before Kirby. Mark Richt didn't have the facilities, and he had the talent. You bring in Kirby, you start getting facilities, you put an emphasis, you increase your recruiting budget, and now all of a sudden, you're the best team in the nation, best program in the nation.
I mean,
looking down at Alabama.
Watch it now.
Look at Alabama.
Prairie View went from winning no games to turning around the next year and winning 12 games. I think that year they went undefeated.
But you do know Prairie View.
They were on probation at the time, and they still was able to get a stadium out of them.
Prairie View was actually a richer school too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't tend to forget that actually a school with money.
Yeah.
When you schools in Texas, you just understand that there's some money behind it.
But will they spend the money? That's the thing.
We just saw,
and they
Texas
put the money in.
We saw how much they paid for the Archie Manning visit.
Lord,
oh man, wow, that's crazy.
But it tells you why he went there.
But that lets you know what's important. That's gonna help you get to the next level. Like, you have to make football important.
One of the big did y'all pay attention to the big part of when we saw Deion talking about that? He knows what he said, and not if the players and the team are going out there taking this beating, this money should not be going to the other.
All right, and I'm glad
university.
And I'm glad you said that, Coy. I'm gonna play that clip for y'all.
Oh, that was a good clip.
Yeah, that was part of it.
Straight to the point. Straight to the point.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at numbers that they gave me. Marshall got $1.25 million to play against Notre Dame. Appalachian State got $1.5 million to play against Texas A&M. Georgia Southern got $1.4 million to play against Nebraska. Okay, and so forth. Now let's get to us. FAMU got $450 to play against North Carolina. Southern, thank God, you got $760. I like that. Alabama State, $590 for UCLA. You probably exhausted that in the flight going all the way across the country. Bethune-Cookman, I don't even know what their payout is. We still trying to find out that. Alabama A&M, $300,000 as well to play against UAB. If we're gonna get our butt kicked, shouldn't it be worth it? How in the world are we selling for the peanuts and the little minute droppings that they're giving us?
Yeah, but here's the thing about that.
Because they don't have a Deion coaching.
Yeah, he can't make them make teams schedule him. That's like Georgia last week with Sanford. it is obvious with two things. First, Kirby scheduled Sanford because that guy, Chris Hatcher, whatever his damn name is, and they used the Valdosta, great quarterback, but gave Kirby a job at to start his coaching career. So he gonna filter a little bit money back into his program to take care of him. And that, I mean, honestly, that's no different than us. We all on this show together.
But
I would like to believe we'd help each other out if we could.
Yeah, but here's the thing, that these relationships, these games happen because of a relationship. We all know this, right?
Yeah.
What Dion is saying is, okay, I go do business with O, right?
Mm-hmm.
I pay him $1 million because that's what it's worth, right?
Yeah.
I turn around and come back to you. We all have relationships since we've been babies, right? I'd ask you to do the same thing that I did for O, that O did for me, and I give you $500,000.
Yeah.
Is at some point you got to know your worth, because the game's gonna get scheduled.
Yeah, but what they gonna do? What they gonna do when Georgia says, "I'm not paying you $1 million to come here"?
Then they have to go find another team that'll pay him.
Georgia's got to find another team. Georgia's going to have to go find another team. Believe it or not,
but see, that's easy for us to do. I mean, we just kicked Oklahoma off our schedule, right? Look how quick, like in an hour, we say, okay, Ball State, come on.
All right, but okay, you're Kirby Smart. You're the AD of Georgia, right?
Yeah.
And you kick Southern off your schedule, right?
Yep.
And Southern comes back, say Georgia kicked us off schedule because we asked for too much money because they don't want to give the same money they pay Stanford.
It ain't illegal. Like it may look bad, but it ain't illegal.
Okay, there you go.
That's two different things.
The optics won't look good, but
that's how you do it. Hey, Carbon, that's how you. I mean, that's my point behind it. You see what I'm saying?
But who's going to do that? That's what I'm saying. Who's going to do that other than, like you said,
Dion.
a person like Dion? That's what
but
I'm
see,
saying.
that's the point of.
He can only speak with Jackson State. He can't speak.
But here's the thing too.
I'll tell you like this: if Calvin McCoy Jr. there, you think he would do some shit like that?
But here's the thing about Dion that Dion don't take into account. Dion want to act like he's just some regular normal dude that's just coaching or whatever. He just out here and all this good stuff is happening to him because he get up and he pray and God looking out for him. And he Deion Sanders. He a name. Like these kids go there to him because they know about him and his legend or whatever. He be on TV. What was it that he used to do on NFL Network or whatever? He do the thing and he's the hot model. He's cool. So he gonna get that. But look at Eddie George. And I like Eddie George. Eddie George was a great professional.
But Eddie George just has no personality.
Exactly.
No. There's a difference. There's other guys with personality. But Eddie George, there's a difference. He has no personality. But one point is, even though Dion is everything you say he is, he's also setting a precedence that this is how we have to do business to get there. You see what I'm saying?
He can do that because
no. He can. If everybody do the business, if everybody
can do that.
Sometimes, everybody can't do everything. But if you put the pressure, because a lot of times people, have you ever been at your job or been somewhere where you see people always say, "Well, they ain't gonna allow this, they ain't gonna allow this." You just go do it, and that never happens because it's almost like that glass ceiling.
Corey, I want to
just keep sitting there doing this to it, and somebody take the lid off. You just gonna sit there and do this.
Right. Well, Corey, and what you're getting at there, a perfect example of that is look how long the Washington Redskins were called the Redskins, but then the pressure of what happened in society.
No, say Washington nigger, because that's what they were called. But go ahead.
Well, the team got changed to the Commanders, but all these years prior to that, 30 years or so, it was back in 1991, one of the Super Bowls that you had Native Americans protesting at a Super Bowl because of the name. But then you have that pressure of what happened in society up in Minnesota. I'm just trying to hurry up. But now, and then the pressure across the board, teams are changing names. Even the Cleveland Indians changed their name. If you put the pressure out there, and one thing he did say was form a committee. The rest of the video is on the YouTube link on the show, but he also mentioned to form a committee to set a bar at least set some kind of a floor and a ceiling to negotiate. So yes, you're right, Zach. Dion is different. He can make moves individually, but I think what he's trying to do is get the collective to change their mindset and negotiate as a whole.
My problem with it is, yes, he can do different things, but once he makes the ask, the rest of it, the light should come on. Because a lot of times people be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna run up that because they're gonna fire me. They're gonna do whatever." I get all that, but once he's opened that jar up, everybody needs to step in and connect.
But we'll see if they step up like that. Oh, you got any comments to get us out of here?
I think it's like, but see, I think the changes that were made for the teams changing their name is the sponsor, a major sponsor.
Yes.
Came in and
that's what did.
Narrative.
Because they were pressured too.
Because
they're pressured too.
Because just look at the NBA, what we just saw with Sarver.
Hey, Erica.
He wasn't going to change the name until that big sponsor came in and said, "You know what, we're about to pull the plug."
But what about the sponsors prior to this? Like prior to that situation, they wasn't pushing all these years, these sponsors to have those name changes.
It was allowed to get away with it.
It was a two-edged because they also realized that if we're not gonna push it, we are for this team as well as people coming into our stores.
A good point.
It was double-edged sword in that regard.
So the pressure has. I mean, Dion is the beginning of the pressure.
Right.
We gonna say it all gonna happen overnight. What I'm saying is before now they were sitting there crying and whining in the closet. Now they can come out and say this shit in public. If all of them get on board, because all these games are scheduled because of relationships. In other words, what basically I have always looked at it as, I prefer to give older going rate, and I prefer to rip you off because you stupid.
Take us home, Zach.
What Calvin's saying is it can make a change, but I'll just go look at the NBA. Sarver. LeBron said something this week about Sarver. Chris Paul said something. All Sarver got for what he did was a year suspension, $10 million fine. I think the first sponsor, I forget who it was. They said if he comes back,
PayPal.
Yeah. Now you get more of that.
But I would say I'm gonna flip you. I'm gonna flip you on this.
Okay.
The reason why Sarver's a different issue is because we always say in the Constitution says America has the right to the pursuit of happiness and all the other stuff. But actually, the old text is actually the pursuit of property. The minute you start taking that freedom away from people, is a different game. So even though, so it's like they can boycott them, they can do this, they can do that, and they can do like they did to your boy with the Clippers. He never lost ownership of the team. Most people think they took that team from him. No, they said you can own the team, but somebody else is gonna run the team. Now his old lady said, "Y'all want to give me how much money?" and sold the team. So that's the deal with that type of stuff.
Excellent conversation, fellas. Great job, man. We'll get it in again next week.
Oh, by the way, Georgia dominated South Carolina. Looks like the best team in the nation.
Fine ball. They did do Alabama.
Ole Miss beat the hell out of. Oh, did y'all watch the Ole Miss Georgia Tech game?
Hey, I like Evans.
Hey, anybody who beats down Georgia Tech, I'm all for it.
But that also means either Clemson, who was off that day, or Georgia, or Clemson's not as good as we thought they were.
Come on,
is not as good as we thought they were.
Who thought
there we go.
Clemson,
anyway, all right,
who thought Clemson was good?
We out, fellas.
50 seconds. All right.
All right, Zach, triple option. Catch us on YouTube. We out.